What is up, guys? MrITryHard here, and today I got to you a special gameplay. It's not special. I say special every single time. Anyways, it's just a gameplay of Headquarters on Summit. Enjoy that gameplay. You know what it is. You know, team objectified, blah, blah, blah. You know, full party raping the other team. Alright, so... I was asking on Twitter yesterday for a series idea. I had no idea, but I was wanting to do a series, something different, something new, something nobody had done before. And one of my Twitter followers, I forget what your name is, buddy, but you know who you are. If you're watching this right now, put it in the comment down below who you are, and I will respond to your comment, and you will be known, and your fame shall be recognized, sir. And thank you very much for that idea. Anyways, he suggested that I should do a series, like kind of a mini-series, on my history in gaming, which is just basically, you know, different consoles, different games, where, like, what games were in my life when I was young, and then moving on until, you know, the whole Black Ops idea. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and this is the first installment of that series, and today, since this is the first episode, I shall be talking about my first gaming console, or my first game. I'm 27 years old, I'm going to date myself here, but, my first gaming console was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. There are older consoles than that, but that was like kind of the first really official console that everybody had. If you were a kid back in the late 80s, you know, early 90s, you had to have an NES. That was the way to go. I forget when it came out. I'll do research after that and probably post a picture somewhere on the screen right now. But it was one of those consoles that well, it was the first. Not the first console, like I said, but kind of the first very, very widespread console. It was awesome for its time. You know, only had two buttons, the A, the B. It had a start and a select, but you didn't use those. And basically the only games on there were just either straight, you know, single-layer shooters, or stuff like Mario Brothers, like the first edition of Mario Brothers. One of the big things about that console was the fact that it had no memory, right? So you couldn't save your game, and that sounds really stupid, right? Who wants to save a game? But it really, really is more important than you guys actually think, because when you're playing a long game, you want to be able to save, you know, take a pause or come back to it later. But because it had no memory, game developers couldn't make very long games. I hit the fucking window on that, Nate, but game developers, they had to make very, very short games, and you know, if a game was longer than 3 or 4 hours to beat, then there was really no point in beating it, because nobody would really want to sit there for like 7 or 8 hours at that time. You know, consoles were kind of a new thing. The whole gamer attitude wasn't really out yet, and basically what people wanted were, you know, short and quick games, which is why, you know, if you played a game like Mario Brothers back in the day, you could probably finish that game in like 3 hours, and that's what I'd like to play, a lot of that. And they had this little thing called, I forget what it was called anyways, but they had a cartridge. Oh god, I should probably explain that. Games weren't on discs, they weren't on memory, like I said. They were on cartridges. Now these cartridges were about as big as a CD case. You know, the good old CD cases that we have now. Oh, here's my quad, and that's a quad. But anyways, I'm not gonna do that. The cartridges are probably bigger than a CD case. I kind of forget, and you had to insert that into the NES and press down, and that would like lock it in, and you would be ready to play. And then to bring it out, it's like a manual. You had to press down again, pop back up, pull that thing. And people who are listening to this right now who actually had an NES back then, we all know that those things did not work very well. As fun as it was to play, we probably spent more time actually trying to make the fucking games work. We all had our own tricks, you know. Some would take the cartridge out and blow onto the end, because there was like the bottom of the cartridge was like empty, and there was like a kind of a, almost like a computer, like the inside of a computer was like sticking out, and you had to insert that into the NES, and that was that. And like you would blow on that, like to try to get the dust off, and that would maybe make it work, and people would like blow into their NES, or I mean, I don't know why there would be dust on that, and even if so, why would that be such a great problem? But apparently that made it work better. It actually did. I always had my own tricks, and blow onto it twice, stick it in. That sounded so fucking... I have the habit of making the fucking gayest comments, but anyways, So the NES, man. One awesome thing about, well, not awesome. One kind of weird thing about it was its controller. I mean, we all enjoyed the controller. Because it was our first really handheld controller that we ever, like, at least that I ever held, and back in the day it was fine. But if you pick one up now, you'll realize how bad the ergonomics of controllers were back then. If you can picture basically like a small rectangle about the size of your hand, and like round edges. It was about as thick as a small wallet, basically, probably like smaller than like half the size of a deck of cards, and it was so hard to hold, and which kind of helped because you didn't want to play those games for hours and hours on end because it wasn't really a comfortable play anyways. But they did make some really really cool installments later on because the NES held for I don't know how long, but it feels like if it was over 10 years. And what was really cool about it was that they made other things like the gun. You could go play Duck Hunt. That was a game I played a lot of, which was just really really stupid. Basically, what it was is just ducks popping up on the screen, and you would shoot those and have a lot of fun with that. And basically, what I would do is I would just stand like 2 feet away from the screen and literally hit my gun on the screen and just shoot, and it would just insta win. And I would win it on expert, and basically I kind of went off path. I'm not sure if I talked to you guys about it, but the cartridges. What was neat about some of the games was that they had basically games that were called like 1,000 games in one cartridge, which was basically the earlier version of a Flash website. You know, we all go to those Flash website games just to play, like addictinggames.com or Armor Games or Flash 247 or stuff like that. Those are sites where you just play Flash games. They're free. It's just this fun, cheap way of entertaining yourself. And that's what those cartridges were for back then. They had like 1,000 games into one. You would pop that cartridge in, you would come up to like a main screen. It was like a black DOS almost like kind of screen, and you would just pick your own game and have some fun with that. It was just cheap ass game, but like everybody had those cartridges and we all had fun with that. And I don't know, like I really had fun with that with that console. The NES was awesome. It wasn't the console which I played the most of because I was kind of a little like maybe on the young side for that. I'm guessing I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, maybe a little older. I forget, but it was kind of those consoles that was like sparked the beginning of my whole gamer career, if you can call that a career. But had fun on that. Next series is going to be all about the SNES, which is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and played a whole lot more of that. Still not my most popular console, but hope you guys will stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed that commentary. Game's wrapping up right now. I'm not sure what to say more about the NES because it worked on. Wait, did it work on an 8-bit? Yeah, it was an 8-bit console, and I'm not even sure how many bits the Xbox 360 has. Maybe if you guys know, you guys can comment on that. Kind of curious about how many bits the Xbox has, if it even measures itself in bits anymore. But hope you guys enjoyed that commentary. It's been Mr. I Try Hard with the 37, 5, and 2.